So we're gonna break down this trade, which is voted for me to break down on my Instagram. We're gonna break down this trade today. This one is the 18 risk to reward on Nasdaq. So if you have a look on the daily time frame, this was at an all-time high that I sold, which probably doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Why would I buy when we're clearly bullish? So I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna break it down bit by bit. So we have a look on the 4 hour time frame. We can see here we had this move. This move was at 8 o'clock in the evening. So this was our previous all-time high, this level here. We had this news move at 8 p.m. in the evening. This massive bullish move. Trump came out with his tariff news, and it should have actually been bad for Nasdaq. Nasdaq should have been a sell when the news came out, but it didn't. It pushed up. So this indicated to me that this was just manipulation, getting ready to sell off. And here was the biggest giveaway. This is the main reason why I took the trade. So what happens when we make new all-time highs? Price will pull back all of the time, 100% of the time. When we make a new all-time high, price will eventually pull back. But how did I know? I'm sure the question you all have is how did I know price was going to pull back? If you look here, look at the size of this candle on the 4 hour. Lots of momentum, closed strong bullish candle. Look at the next one. Very, very small in comparison to this huge move. So we had huge momentum here from the news. We closed very bullish. Then we had a smaller candle, and then what happens? The momentum completely dies out, and we have this tiny little doji candle which closed slightly bullish. So what happens next? Price pushes up. I actually entered on the 1 hour. I'm going to show you exactly why I took my entry here and why my stop loss was where it was. Sorry, I entered on the 30 minute, not the 1 hour. So if you look here, we have this slow down in momentum all the way here. And we have one last little bullish push. And this to me indicates that after all this bullish push here, after it slowed down in momentum, we kept slowing down, and then eventually completely died off. And then we had one last push. That indicated to me that that was just taking liquidity above these highs. If you go down to the 30 minute time frame, you'll be able to see my entry. So once we pushed up and swept these highs here, where the momentum died out from, we had this wick here. We then closed bearish. As soon as we closed bearish after taking out these highs from where the momentum died down, I took an entry and stop loss just above the wick, which obviously makes sense. Why would I put my stop loss anywhere up here? There's no price action up here. It makes no sense. So obviously I am anticipating that this is going to sell off, given that this move should have been a sell off from the get-go with the news that came out, but it wasn't. It was a strong bullish push, so just manipulation. Momentum died down, pushed up, swept the highs. I took an entry once this closed bearish, stop loss above, and boom. As you can see, we played out to a T. Now, if you have a look at my TP, I'm going to explain why I chose this as my TP. So if you have a look on the daily time frame, I would consider this here as a daily low. And I would draw a demand zone from here, this doji candle here. So something like this. My bad. So this would actually be from wick to wick. So it's not very accurate. So around here. So price would push up from here. And then in theory should come back and test this level again, this daily low. As I said, this is a daily structure point for me. And we should in theory push back up. So my TP could have been down here, but I wanted to play it very safe since why wouldn't I? It's 1:8, just nearly 1:18 and a half. So there's no point in me trying to hold this trade all the way down here. And potentially it only makes it to here and then pulls right back up and takes me out break even. There's no point in that whatsoever. It was a huge trade. So I'm getting out anywhere that makes sense. So where it made sense to me was these highs here. I picked the highest point out of these two, which was here. And I drew my level across, and that was my TP. So if you switch down to the 4 hour, you can see it properly. Absolutely beautiful trade. No drawdown on this trade whatsoever. And when price really actually pushed down was when volume came in at New York session. So if you look here, this was, I'm gonna guess this was about 2 o'clock, half two, this candle. Yeah, so quarter past two, close enough. So just before volume kicks in at half two is when price actually melted. So we just messed around a bit from here and then boom, melted off straight away, 100 pips to the downside, and then continued all the way down. So that is exactly from top to bottom analysis how I took this trade. Entry, stop loss, and TP. What a beautiful trade. And no, I do not catch these trades all the time. So don't think that these are trades I take every day. I'll give you a little example. So these are the type of trades I take every day. This one is to 1.75, this one is to 4.3, and this one is to 2.3 or 2.8, 2.2. I actually closed that a little bit higher. Actually closed up at these highs. So yeah, it was just under 2.8 if I remember correctly. So yeah, these trades, they don't come around often, but when they do, you can definitely capitalize on them. So how you can take value from this is wait for price to make a high. It is a bit of a tricky area because I'm telling you to trade against the trend when the trend is bullish. How you usually always trade is from supply and demand zones, obviously. So if we're bullish here, which we are, here's our daily low, away for price to come back into this zone and then trade from here, which would have worked out absolutely perfectly. But in this case, I've been trading for many years now, so I can trade a bit more advanced. I can trade against the trend. So those who are able to comprehend what I'm talking about, I would advise that if when you see price make a new high, what's going to happen next? Price isn't going to go up forever. What goes up must come down. Once price pushes up and makes a new high, you can take advantage of the pullback to the daily time frame zone or the 4 hour time frame zone, wherever it may be, and whatever pair you're looking at. You can take advantage of the pullback if you know how to get in. And I've just showed you a very easy method on how I was able to tell that this was the top. Look for the momentum slowdown. Big candle, smaller candle, even smaller candle, and then bearish. Clear sign that we are going to start pulling back after making this high. Keep in mind this is an all-time high, and this was also news involved in this, so that's why the move was so big. But yeah, that's it for this video anyways. Hope you can learn something from it, and I'll catch you in the next video.